So can you recall some women who have done extremely well in corporate world?
Yes, sir. Sir, first is Indra Nui ma'am, who was the CEO of PepsiCo. Then we have Kiran Majumdar Shaw, who headed Biocon and started a biopharma revolution in our country. We have Sudha Murthy ma'am, and we have uh, the founder of Nykaa, Falguni Nair.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Varsha, what's the basic difference between cost accountancy and chartered accountancy?
Sir, in practice, the focus of a cost accountant and chartered accountant is different. A cost accountant is responsible for cost auditing, whereas a chartered accountant is responsible for statutory audit. While working in organizations, both of them have similar functions.
Okay. The phenomenon of conflict of interest was in the news a few years back. Are you able to recall the scam that took place?
Yes, sir. In the case of the ICICI chairman Chanda Kochar, there were allegations. There were allegations of conflict of interest.
Was she chairman? Was she CEO? Was she CMD?
CEO.
Yes, sir. She was the CEO. Yes, sir. So there were allegations of conflict of interest in that case. She was the part of a loan sanctioning panel,
Yes.
which extended loan to Videocon Enterprises. While she had a conflict of
So
interest.
what went wrong?
Sir,
Who was responsible for this situation when such a scam took place?
So first, I think that there was an ethical misconduct on her part because she should have reported a conflict of interest. We have measures to report conflict of interest, and there are guidelines, but it depends on the person to make disclosure of their conflict of interest. And I think that there was a failure on that front.
And what was the role of independent directors you were just now talking about?
So the independent directors are also responsible for an oversight, and there should have been better due diligence in this case. But having said that, I feel that if there is a conflict of interest, the person who has such a conflict has more knowledge about it, and therefore it becomes their responsibility to disclose it.
You mean to say that the independent directors have nothing to say, they have no power?
So they have powers, and if this was in their knowledge, then desired course of action should have been taken at the earliest.
So negligence was in the case of Satyam scam,
Yes, sir.
independent
say so.
directors did not, and at that time, if I remember correctly, some guidelines were proposed to be issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs for the appointment of independent directors. A panel was supposed to be
Yes, sir.
issued, out of which the public sector undertakings or private sector undertakings could appoint anybody.
Yes, sir.
Was it done?
So we have a list of directors which are registered with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, but for the appointment purpose, it is still done by the organizations who are appointing an independent director on their board. So while there is a overall list, we don't have specific independent
But
directors.
who prepares that list? Ministry of Corporate Affairs?
Yes, sir.
That includes professionals, non-professionals, retired civil servants.
Sir, I'm not aware about the exact composition of the panel.
Okay. Chanda Kochar has been arrested. Huh?
Yes, sir.
What was the difference in the scam that took place in the case of Chanda Kochar and Nirav Modi? Was there any similarity in offence? Common features?
So the common feature was ethical misconduct by both these persons involved. However, in case of Chanda Kochar, she cooperated with the inquiry and stayed in the country. While in case of Nirav Modi, he escaped the country, and as a result of that, he was declared a fugitive economic offender. The modalities of both these uh, scams were different. In the first case, it was a conflict of interest, but in the case of Nirav Modi, it was misuse of letter of recommendations and there was forgery involved. There was also
Okay, okay.